Hi, this is Mustard Strong, formerly known as James Fargon. I've been crying tonight. Uh, it happens frequently that I think about my grandfather. On the distaff side, my mother's father, who was a veterinary scientist. His name was Preston Holden. He was a specialist in bovine encephalitis, plain speak, cow brain disease. According to the official story, he was found in his home in a pool of blood after having slit his own throat from ear to ear. That's the official story. But I don't believe official stories too much anymore. My grandfather, Preston Holden, was a transport pilot in World War II and the Korean War. During the Korean War, he flew roses and liquor for General MacArthur from Japan to Incheon. According to family lore, my grandfather, who grew up in West Virginia, had an abusive father. And at one point, when his father was beating his mother, he got out a rifle and he said, "Get out of here." And from then on, he took care of his mother. That's lore. I wouldn't swear by it, I just heard it at some point. Anyway, my grandfather, Preston Holden, worked for the Centers for Disease Control. He flew to Russia during the Cold War. That much I remember. And in the year 1972, he was found in a pool of his own blood with his throat slashed from ear to ear, and it was ruled a suicide. Now, in 1972, Anthrax, which is a bovine syndrome, was officially struck from the U.S. Armory. And in the weeks and months preceding my grandfather's death, he had briefcases stolen, he was demoted, he was vilified. And so I have a sister who is sitting on several trunks full of his papers. And someday we're going to get to the bottom of this. But in the general haze, as I squint my eyes, this is the picture that I get. My grandfather, who was an upright, honest, decent, God-fearing man, realized that he was being used to weaponize anthrax, and he blew the whistle. And he was successful enough that the U.S. government removed anthrax officially from their armory in 1972, but not before they had whacked him. What man slits his own throat from ear to ear as a mode of suicide? What man in the history of the world has ever done that? My grandfather had guns. He had lots of guns. The way a man with guns commits suicide is that he reaches for a gun and he shoots himself through the head. He doesn't slice his own throat from ear to ear. It just doesn't happen that way. And so, every day I think about all the great times I could have had with my grandpa. He was a great man. He was listed in the who's who of scientists. And so we all live on tangents. We all live on tangents. And certain tangents intersect. And so here's where my tangent intersects with the globalist conspiracy to enslave mankind, is that the slave masters murdered my grandfather. And they deprived my grandfather of a life with me. And they deprived me of a life with my grandfather. And every day, almost every day, I do a little memorial service in my mind for my grandfather. My poor grandfather who just tried to do the right thing. I know it. I see it. He tried to do the right thing. He did the right thing. And I just can't imagine the horror of how he went out. I wouldn't want to go through it. And the other thing I'll say about my grandfather is that he knew he was going out, because I think it was 3 nights before he died, he was standing over my crib. I was 18 months old, and my mother overheard him talking to me, and he said, "Grandson, I hope that you'll always be proud of me, because I will always be proud of you." Well, Gramps, I'm proud of you. Pop, Pop, I'm proud of you, sir. And I'm doing my best to be deserving of your pride. Some things hurt so bad that it's like life affirming in a way. It's, at least it shows you that you're still alive. You still feel. Anyway, this is a nightly newsfeed wrap-up for 19th of June. So I'm going to do at least one newsfeed article to keep it nominally correct. Let's see if something catches my eye at David Icke. Headlines. Bloodline families, insane inbreds. Yeah. And interestingly enough, at henrymacow.com, Henry is now permitting talk of reptilian ETs. That's very strange. Remember who you are, buy my book. Buy my book. David Icke. I'm looking for a headline and all I see is promotion from David Icke. Just promotion. Police state checkpoint nullification in Upper Moreland, Pennsylvania. More good news squeezing through the cracks. Police state checkpoint nullification. They're nullifying police checkpoints. Right. The experiment has failed. Are you ready? Burning euros in the picture there. I think that the failed Euro state is a planned thing. It was planned from the beginning to collapse and create a catastrophe that would get people to lump together under a single government. And I hope that they don't succeed. Adidas under fire for unveiling new trainer with orange shackles like those worn by black slaves. Oh shit, man. Go dig it. Go to David Icke headlines and just check out this new sneaker design. Oh my god. UK soldiers sacked days before pension date. Yeah. Just days before they are eligible for their pensions, they're sacked. That's just exactly how they work, folks. That's exactly how they work. They use people and throw them away. Cop Superman punches man for talking too loud on phone. Puts him in intensive care. I've caught some flack for being too hard on the cops. But as far as I'm concerned, the American cops can go fuck themselves up the ass with barbed wire. Korean cops are still good. Still good. I wanted to keep this clean because this was supposed to be the homage to my grandpa, and I just threw some profanity in there, but he'd probably approve. Romney strategists prepare for war against Iran, and remember Rand Paul. Rand Paul officially supports this motherfucker. So to all you Ron Paulites, all you Ron Paul heads, I told you so. I did. I told you so. I'm coming up on the end of my time here. It's enough for now. I'm sorry for crying and weeping. It's just, I had to get my grandpa's story out there. And it will be vindicated. I've got a very intelligent sister sitting on a lot of his documents. My grandpa was murdered for fighting evil. And his spirit lives on through me, and I certainly hope that I don't meet the same end that he did. Okay, this is Mustard Strong nightly newsfeed wrap up for 19th of June 2012. Over and out.